All right, my beautiful Capricorn, this is your reading for July. Now we are coming up to a new moon. I can already feel the shifts. I'm not sure what's happening today, but there are black cockatoos everywhere in my area. They've been singing out all day. It's so beautiful. So thank you for your patience. I've had to take a couple of integration naps actually today in between readings, which often happens. There's a lot of energy that comes through. And sometimes my physical vessel needs more rest than my spirit, right? And that is totally fine. So we're going to have a look what's on the cards for you in July. I think June was pretty big and we came to a solstice reset point. July has some interesting energy already. So let's see what's coming up for you. I've changed the structure a little bit after what my guides have been talking to me about. So we're going to do 3 tarot cards. That's going to outline what's happening in your 3D world. Then 3 shadow cards from my Stalk Your Shadow Oracle deck to honor the ongoing process in 5D, right? So they've been talking to me about just the experience of, at this time in our incarnation, most of us are 5D beings living in a 3D world. That's incredibly difficult. We can see the changes happening in the 3D. That can be both uplifting and encouraging and difficult, traumatic, jarring, right? We are attempting to create new cycles, new patterns, new relationship structures. We're attempting to make the world a better place. And the rate of that can be disorientating, because the experience of 5D is that time starts to shift. There is a completely different concept to time. Some people feel a little bit unsettled because you have less of a, I guess, linear experience with time. Time can sort of warp into huge abundance and then almost a disassociation too, whereas down in 3D, it's very much, what am I doing, what day it is, how much time do we have, let's fill every moment. 5D is like, oh my gosh, I have so much time, I have so much space, I have so much to experience. But then balancing the two is, it's real. It is absolutely one of the most incredible things I've ever experienced, and it's ongoing, right? We haven't chosen an easy time to incarnate, but I think most of our ancestors could say the same, right? It's not that this time is completely unique. It's that we must remember how much is changing and how we are a part of that collective soup that is now fracturing and updating, and there's growing pains all over the place, which means we're feeling that, we're a part of it, we're also separate to it, we're individual people, we're in the collective soup. We are looking for community, but old senses of community don't work for us anymore. Finding soul tribe is a really nice concept. It's actually an incredible amount of work to get through the conditioning and the programming of what we thought relationships were going to be. The reality of 5D multi-dimensional soul contracts is so intense, so beautiful. And the place I keep on coming back to with a lot of my friends is, you know, you can't get away with just being a dysfunctional part of yourself, a shallow part of yourself. The beautiful thing about being in a soul tribe and being with other beautiful, aware, awake, intuitive, creative people is, you know, you can't get away with your mask. You can't get away when you're sabotaging yourself. We want to surround ourselves with people that are like, hey, you're not looking after yourself. I can see it. Or, hey, what are you doing? You're so much better than this. I can see what you're going through. Like, reach out for help. Stop being mean to yourself, whatever it is. And that's difficult within itself if you've never known that. So we want that accountability. We want that level of understanding, but we must have self-compassion along the way. I will say, from my own perspective, to be in relationship with people I deeply love when they don't look after themselves and they're not doing the things I know they need to do. It's incredibly hard for me to stay in connection with them, particularly if they drop into being very mean to themselves, critical of themselves, demeaning to themselves. It's almost like, there they go. There's only so much I can say, like, hey, I can see what you're doing. So holding that, knowing that we're trying to get to a really beautiful place. We are striving for a better world, a new reality for ourselves and for the collective. And just remember that that's a really big job. So if things are feeling difficult, take a step back, congratulate yourself, realize you believe in a different reality and you're trying really hard to get there. Take the time and the space and the self-care that you need, because sometime in July, you may already be onto it. There might be a brand new idea. There might be a new concept, a new belief system, some thought form in the mind that is going to break open your sense of reality. So it could be an aha moment, it could be an epiphany, it could be a vision, a dream, something that comes to you and says, well, that changes everything. One beautifully clear and aligned thought can change your belief systems like this. I've seen it happen. I've definitely worked with people where you introduce a concept and something changes for them straight away. And if we're clever with our questioning, with ourselves and with other people, we can wake ourselves up very quickly. Something as simple as, well, what if that wasn't the reality and it was actually that the world is a good place, everybody loves you, you can do this thing, it's all going to work out. What if it was a different thought form than you'd ever considered? Now, we can go through very complex therapy systems and healing modalities to get that thought form, but sometimes an aligned question, and I use hacking questions with my guides all the time, with my students and my members in Patreon. Something as simple as, what if it all works out? And what if this is what love means, or this is what love requires of us? What if this is unconditional love creating a shadow flush in you and you're just not used to it, whereas you're convinced that it's terrible and it's awful and everyone's to blame? What if it is an upgrade rather than a weakness? What if it's not your fault? What if that's not your responsibility? What if a new idea or abundance is coming and you're just preparing for that, right? All of these questions you can write down, put on your altar, ask yourself every single day to allow those sparks and those epiphanies to come through. That's a brand new neural network, right? And if you like that neural network, if you like that thought form, we are neuroplastic beings, which means you can create different thought forms in your mind and clear out the others. Because the new thought form and the brand new idea, the aha epiphany moment, is going to give you all these new cluster storms of ideas that are going to recharge your resources, that are going to uplift your 3D life, that are going to bring you money, energy, time, people, community, whatever it is. We need the new thought form to get those new ideas and have new doorways open in the mind. But remember, you're in charge of your neuroplasticity, so you have to hack it sometimes. New thought form, brand new ideas, particularly about making money. Then we can go back into a container, a safe space, where something in your past that your inner child has been waiting for you to come back and collect will be resolved, healed, or there'll be a key. There's a key back there somewhere. Once we follow this evolution, the key that heals the past will break you free from something that has been dragging you back, right? The inner child does have this way of not really letting us go until we address the issue, but we don't know what the issue is until we create these new thought forms. So it can be as quick as, well, maybe that's why that happened when I was young. You know, the interesting part is I've been having so many conversations about ancestry at the moment, ancestral trauma, ancestral curses, how all these things are passed down. Sometimes the trauma skips generations and comes through someone who is awake enough to resolve it, but it's not theirs. They're experiencing life as if they've been traumatized in deep loss, as if someone has died or something tragic has happened. And the jarring part is, for a spiritual person, a multidimensional person, they are feeling the depths of that. But when they scan the room, they're like, I don't understand. Everything's fine. I'm safe. I have a good house, a family, everything. But I feel this loss, this deep-seated emotion. Tap into your ancestry. Your inner child has a key for you to understand which ancestor you're unlocking, right? Because if you change the ancestral lines, you change your fortune, you change your luck, so to speak. And we are the ones that are coming through conscious enough, and the generations before us. Look at all the sensitive, neurodivergent, gifted, intuitive beings coming through now. They are really saying, whatever this society thing is, not going to work for me. Thanks very much, though. Even though they're going to experience the trauma of that, there's a key. Change your ancestral lines and you'll change your reality, but you'll also free all your ancestors from something they've been wanting to resolve for so long. You know, we can find curses that are 20 generations deep, and there just hasn't been anyone prepared, awake, aware, or conscious enough to say, oh, I get it. It's not my fault. That happened. It passed down the line. All trauma is looking for resolution, healing, and integration. Maybe I'm the one, and I know that comes with a huge burden at times, but maybe I'm the one, and I can stand up and say, I'm not perpetuating this. Even if you have children, you can still work on your ancestral lines, right? Even if you don't. So in the shadow realm, you must understand that your presence alone is what's bringing people resilience, strength, safety, and security. You walk into the room, everyone feels at ease. Whatever your shadow programs are telling you about the opposite of that is what you need to work on. So if you can't see what your presence brings to other people, if you're being mean to yourself or convincing yourself that you're the worst thing that's ever happened to people and you're this and that, please don't. Buffalo says you need to realize that that presence is really important for other people. So don't take it away from them, right? Get yourself into those rooms, be of service. The bear also says you're very powerful, but if you're using your power for your own demise, which means you're really powerfully sabotaging yourself and being mean to yourself, that power is being misused. So remember, the bear must go into hibernation for a long time to come back out and be one of the king of the forest, right? Huge amounts of power. You wouldn't want to cross a bear, right? Particularly not a bear that has cubs. Use that power for the right reasons. Don't self-inflict, okay? Kookaburra comes with a stern message as well. You need to act, right? Take action on the new idea, follow it through, realize it opens the doors, take charge of your own neuroplasticity, create new neural network pathways. There's a key in your past, unlock that, have a look at your ancestry and see if you can open these doors, because it's quite a bit of energy here and it's all very powerful energy, particularly in the 5D shadow aspects. And it all comes from that new idea. So if that hasn't landed yet, or you've already had it, please don't back away. There's nothing in here that says you're going to sabotage yourself with a new idea, but everything does say if you don't open the doors and follow the new idea, you're going to miss all the medicine. So lots of shadow work for you this month, but I know you can do it. If you want a little bit more structure in your life, please come and join us in Patreon. We are always hacking into this with lots more detail. So come and join us there. Otherwise, I'll see you for a live stream on the 16th, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I love you, Capricorn. Bye.